On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And we're your favorite improvers from
Woo!
Los Angeles, California, to you wherever you're watching and tuning in and listening to us.
Give us a name.
Hi.
Give us a name.
Give us a name.
Geoff? Okay. Boom, chakalaka, boom, boom, chakalaka, boom, boom, chakalaka. Geoff. Geoff.
It's not Jeff, it's Geoff.
Boom, shakalaka, laka, boom, shakalaka, laka. Geoff, Geoff. Don't
Nope.
you dare piss me off. Ooh, boom, shakalaka,
You get the
laka.
whistle because
Oh.
you repeated Geoff.
Oh, okay.
So you're out.
Okay, so,
Boom, shaka. I'm just kidding.
oh.
We're here to improvise as two podcasters sitting in an office in Southern California, telling you all about macabre history and obituaries.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, so today on the show, you guys, we have a lineup for you.
oh, baby.
We have 3 obituaries between the both of us.
We've got more than one coffin spinner, but less than 3. So that brings us to about 2.
Same with dumb.ass criminals.
We've got
2.
dose of those.
We also have some things in the news we want to talk about. We may have
we?
some assholes. Yes, actually, I do.
Well, before we get into any of that, we got to talk about this past weekend, is what we got to talk about.
Well, what about it? I had your children
You had
with
my
me. Where were
daughters.
you?
I was in Palm Springs looking at wedding venues because it's one of the locations that we might choose. We're still not completely 100% set on where this wedding will be, but Palm Springs is one that makes sense, obviously. I'm a Palm Springs guy. So we went out there to look at some wedding venues, and some were great, some were like whatever. I will say this. So I always advocate hard for the Parker, the hotel out there. It just did not hit the same this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't want to I'm not going to completely trash talk it.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. This is
Okay.
breaking. This is breaking news. I'm serious. I'm breaking the fourth wall. We're no longer improving.
Because you stayed there, right?
Yeah. And
Didn't a cult babe work there?
I think there's been several, actually. I
Yeah.
think there's been at least 2 that I can recall off the top of my noggin.
You think it's played out?
I don't think it's played out because it does the mid-century Jonathan Adler Palm Springs thing, which is what I feel like you go to Palm Springs to experience.
Well, does it right? I mean,
It does it right.
Jonathan Adler designed like
The whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. The room we were in was kind of dumpy. It was in a building I hadn't been in before.
Oh.
TV didn't work.
Oh.
Which, when you're on vacation, baby,
Double whammy.
I need my Dateline.
I know.
I need my Dateline in the hotel room at night. It's
Yeah.
one of the things I look forward to.
Yep.
And that's not a big deal, whatever. But yeah, I just felt like it.
You know what's so funny?
What?
Cisco and I in Palm Springs, we are Dateline people in bed in the hotel room. Maybe because it's so hot sometimes. It's like, okay, you do the thing at the pool, you go out
Yeah.
and explore. And then you get back in your hotel room and you're like, what do you do?
You
And
watch Dateline.
Dateline's always on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah. Okay.
That was kind of weird. And then there was just like a few other things that happened that were just like annoying. And at the end of the day, like there's worse things happening in the world. But yeah, I feel like I always push so hard for it. So now I'm kind of like pulling back a little bit. But I will say, we went to Birba for dinner, which is like my favorite restaurant.
What is it called?
Birba.
Birba? Okay.
Birba.
It's good.
So best pizza, best pasta.
Ooh.
So good.
Okay.
Well, Las Cazuelas Nuevas, the one specifically off Highway 111, is my favorite restaurant in Palm Springs, but Barbara's a close second. And then, yeah, you watched the dogs. They came back with painted nails. Well, Frankie had a full set, and then Hot Dog had just 2 done. She
Yes.
wasn't
So,
feeling it.
well, Frankie's so just sweet and will let you do anything to her. And so I was able to do her hands and her feet in a hot pink, and she loved it. Hot Dog, I started on 2 of her nails, and then I felt a whole open mouth on my hand. And it was her. She was not biting, but she opened her
She was
mouth.
letting you know.
It was like a...
Like, I'm going to bite you.
She's like, okay, you did 2 nails. If you keep fucking going, I'm applying pressure. I am biting.
She does not like her hands being touched for some reason.
I've trimmed her nails before and she bit me or
Yeah.
tried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most dogs, I feel like, don't like their paws messed with.
Frankie doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
Frankie, I'm like always grabbing her and
Yeah.
touching
She's
her
a
hands and
sweet
everything.
girl. I think Cisco was actually her favorite.
Yeah, she loves
In
Cisco.
bed with him, like the whole thing. Loved him.
And then Monday, we had a little day date.
Yes, we did. We had our buns.
Yes, we got buns. We
Went to Home Goods.
went to Home Goods. Went to a music store.
Went to a music store. You bought a banjo. I bought spoons.
Yep.
We're starting a band, people.
Get ready for it.
Get
It's
ready.
remember when we randomly just put out our cover song?
I know. We've got more.
There's more to come.
There's even a 90-day fiance.
I need to find that.
I know.
Yeah, we wrote a song about 90 Day Fiance.
Specifically Mohammed and Danielle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which if you know, you know, and if you don't, you should know.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually only watched very little 90 Day Fiance in my
Same.
life, but
Yeah.
but Mohammed and Danielle, I followed that storyline through.
So I think that was the first season.
Was
and
it?
just hit. Yeah.
So good. And then we went to Trader Joe's together.
Oh my God. Wait a second. I forgot about that. We all know most Trader Joe's are teeny tiny and the parking lots suck. Well, this one was not our normal one.
It's in a big parking lot, actually.
Yeah, parking wasn't bad, but it's so small and just chaos.
Congested. Well, and it's everyone. We were talking about it after. Like, it's not only, and at that one, the employees are not friendly.
They're not flirting. They're not doing anything. They're not doing their job.
They're not saying, "Oh my God, I haven't tried this before." Is it good?
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
They're giving you 0.
No, they are giving you something and it's attitude.
Oh.
It's true.
Is this us being old? Just talking about customer service is just not what it used to.
Well, it's
The
not.
Champ and I talk about that all the time.
People are
Well,
rude.
yeah, even some stores you go to that you're used to having, great customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give a fuck. I've worked in customer service forever. I know that it sucks sometimes. Give the energy that you want to get back. And if people are dicks to you, then yeah, be a dick to them. But if people
Yeah.
are friendly, then play along and be nice.
Yeah.
But what I will say about this one, yeah, it did have a big parking lot. But also, what happened to my shopping cart when I was trying to get to my car?
Well, hold on. We were both in separate lines and
Yeah.
your guy was faster.
Yep.
And you were like, so I have kind of a ways home because we kind of met in the middle.
Yeah, it was going to be like a fucking 30-minute, 40-minute drive.
Yeah. And so you're like, I'm going to get ahead of it. Like, I'll see you Thursday. And I was like, okay, yeah, bye. And then I go out to the parking lot and I still see your car, but I don't see you. And I'm like almost to my car. And then I see you
Stuck with my shopping cart. I did a big shop.
Yeah.
Completely full shopping cart, top and the bottom thing full too. And I'm like, my cart won't go.
Yeah. His cart locked.
It locked
He
in the
had to
parking lot.
Drag it.
Which, girl, it's a whole fucking story in and of itself. But yeah, I had to drag it to my car. And that is the one time, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to admit this on camera, on the podcast, to all of you at home, I left that shopping cart outside of my car. That's the only time in my life I've ever done that. But it genuinely, there was no cart return nearby. I was like, I'm not going to drag this cart where the wheels don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought it would maybe unlock once I got closer to the store. Why is it locking when I parked in your parking lot?
I think they did it on purpose.
Conspiracy.
Maybe. But I was saying that they should put arrows on the ground
At Trader Joe's.
at Trader Joe's.
Follow the arrows.
Follow the arrows. And if you get out of line, you have to go back to the beginning because people don't know how to fucking act. No. Crazy.
It is a tumultuous shopping experience because I like Trader Joe's products for the most part. I will say I don't think you can do a full grocery shop there.
No, you can't.
You always got to go to another store for something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just hard to be us. Really complaining a lot. We sound like some real assholes, Madison.
Oh my God, we do. But wait, before you get into assholes, can I talk about an asshole? Elon Musk.
Okay, what do you do now?
Well, actually, okay. So this is an article that just came out. It's all over the place. I chose the article from vstar.com though because I like the way it's written. But SpaceX rideshare mission carried more than 160 capsules of human remains. And it's actually very interesting. It says the remains of more than 160 deceased people reached orbit on a spacecraft that hitched a ride on a SpaceX rocket.
Okay, so kind of a good for Elon Musk.
I guess, yeah.
So last week we trashed the Cybertruck, which was cremating people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. I mean, when you think of Tesla or SpaceX, just death, I guess.
Yeah.
Cremation and remains. And it's not the first time that a company from Texas has worked with a launch provider like billionaire Elon Musk's commercial spaceflight company to provide cosmic memorial services to those who may not favor a traditional burial. Since 1994, Celestis has offered about 24 memorial space flights to transport the remains of loved ones beyond Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
This time, though, the mission that got off the ground from the Vandenberg Space Force base in Southern California was designed to return from orbit in a major first. While an anomaly prevented the spacecraft bearing the memorial capsules from making a gentle landing, the payload did indeed make it to orbit and even twice circled Earth. Here's what to know about Celestis Memorial Spaceflight, as well as its latest mission to transport human remains. And then it goes on to talk, Celestis is a Houston-based company specializing in transporting human remains to space for cosmic memorials. And I just love it. And I heard that there was some pet ashes on there too.
Oh, so they released them.
There was also DNA too. It was not only, I was reading a different article about it. It was not only ashes, but there was also things of DNA, which I think we've talked about.
DNA. Dick and ass.
Dick and assholes.
Assholes. Speaking of. No, I do love that. Yeah, I did that whole episode on sending ashes to space. Yeah. I loved that.
They just did it.
Okay, my first asshole today says, am I the asshole for not rearranging a funeral for my cousin?
Okay.
My 21 male dad died. It's just me and my brothers, 19 male, and distant relatives. We have more family friends than we do close family, so we try to value the family we do have when we get to see them. His funeral was yesterday. Our cousin Kaylee, 24, lived with us for much of her life because her mom struggled. She was a single mom and in and out of difficult situations. I wouldn't say my dad solely raised her, but he played a big part in it. So they were close, but since she turned 21 or so, she moved out of state and hasn't really come around much. Fine. She volunteered to make slideshows for the funeral. Great. One was going to be right after the eulogy, and the other was going to be right after that. Until yesterday, she didn't mention having any scheduling conflicts, but then sprung on us that she was picking up her mom from the airport in the morning and might be late. Fine, whatever. She'd maybe miss most of the viewing. But then she starts calling during the viewing, saying that they had to eat and it would be another 60 to 90 minutes, and asked if we could request pushing things back. Mind you, everything was already in motion. I said maybe the order of events could be changed, but there was too much going on and I didn't get a chance to talk to the funeral home, so things proceeded as normal. I stopped answering her text, which she assumed meant things got moved around. She eventually arrived towards the end, missed most of everything, got pissy with me after, saying I was selfish and talking to the funeral home could have been quick and easy, and now she and her mom feel robbed. She's ranting on social media now about her asshole family, me denying her from being able to see her tributes. Mind you, her tributes are on her damn computer or CapCut or whatever she used to make them. I stupidly texted her briefly and I said I wish we could have just worked it out, but she reiterated I'm a selfish asshole. Am I?
No.
You know how crazy that is?
I'm pissed off at people. I am.
She's had it. She's
Why
punched my drywall again.
Like, I never punched your drywall. Here. No, it just makes me so. Why? I guess I don't have this type of bullshit in my life, or I would not
because
tolerate.
they know you wouldn't put up with it. That's why.
Crazy.
To ask somebody whose parent died at their funeral, oh, you don't have to stop to eat for 60 to 90 minutes if you're running late for a funeral. That's
crazy.
What's crazy.
And I hate you didn't respond, so I just assumed that you moved everything around for me.
Crazy.
Fuck you.
That's a crazy way of thinking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It makes me so mad.
If somebody did that, I would fucking lose my mind. But like, yeah.
You will get, and Spencer, you and I are both like this. You will get cut the fuck off.
Yeah.
And you will not hear another word from me.
Ever again.
Ever. Dead
Ever
to
again.
me. Sleep with the fishes.
Yeah, dead to me.
Your name's in the freezer.
6 feet under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
And I'm contacting a voodoo witch on Etsy to put a curse on you.
And
actually,
honestly.
And
I get pissed off at this girl writing or the person writing in about this because I want to slap her and be like, girl, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pissed all the way around. Like, why are you even asking? This person's an asshole.
Yeah. It is a guy who wrote it, but.
Well, a guy can get slapped. I would love that.
We were talking about that today because we were seeing Heather McDonald last year, remember? Or 2 years ago, whenever that was.
Oh, yeah. And the
3 years ago.
slap heard around the world. I think that was 3 years ago.
It was the same night as the Will Smith slap. I have no concept of time anymore.
Yeah, neither do I.
But I remember we were in like our going to see live events era because we were about to go on tour. We were like, what do other people do? Which, speaking of, there's a rumor that we're hitting the road again soon.
There isn't. We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
And that's the rumor.
That's the rumor I heard.
Okay, the second one says, am I the asshole for not being able to attend my girlfriend's aunt's funeral due to work obligations? My girlfriend has an elderly aunt, 80s.
What?
I just can't believe some of these people. Sometimes I'm like, of course you're not the asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, okay, I'll read it.
Okay.
I have it. My girlfriend has an elderly aunt in her 80s who has multiple health issues and has been in and out of the hospital ever since we started dating just over 2 years ago. The aunt hasn't passed yet, but they took her off her medications besides the pain meds, and it's only a matter of time before she passes. The family has arranged the wake to be Thursday with the funeral on Saturday. I work out of state for 2 weeks every month in a profession where if you don't work, you don't get paid. We don't have PTO, no sick days, no vacation days, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to fly out today, and I changed my flight to Thursday night. Luckily, I have a buddy who is able to cover me through Friday, which means I'll be able to attend the wake and fly out afterwards. The reason I'm flying out Thursday night, even though I have coverage Friday during the day, is because it's a 6-hour flight and I wouldn't make it in time to start my shift on Friday morning. Keep in mind, I do work weekends when I'm away, so the why not just fly out after the funeral on Saturday question doesn't work in this scenario. I told my girlfriend this was the best I could do, going to the wake and then flying home after. And she got really upset and said, I can't believe you're going to make me be alone when they put her in the ground.
Okay, let's just be broke. Ooh, let's just be broke.
Let's be broke.
Let's just not work. Oh, perfect. Okay.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
I know it's an emotional time. I didn't say anything back because I know no good can come from it. Am I the asshole for trying to properly manage my professional career with her personal... Yeah, I'm not even going to finish it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in here that has to say, but like this person literally rearranged their schedule so that they could fly out at a certain date, a certain time, make sure that they're there for the wake. They're in the right. This person's in the wrong. It's their elderly aunt. This was probably an expected passing. Not that makes it any easier. There was time to prepare. It is what it is.
Let's just be broke and let's not work.
I just guess I'm just in the mood where I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of it too.
I'm like, why would you be an asshole in that situation? You're going to the wake.
Yeah. And you're rearranging everything. And I'm sure that he's like, babe, I can rearrange everything. I can go to the wake. I got some shifts covered.
Or he's like, you bitch. I'm going to. But this is also the thing with Am I the Assholes is I always take it with a grain of salt too, because this could be the worst person writing
That's
where
true.
they're like, maybe their girlfriend told them like 2 months prior, like, please take that week off of work.
Yeah.
We're going to do the funeral and I just really need you to do that.
Right.
Like, it would mean so much to me. And then they did this anyway. And they're like, I did the best I could.
Well, that's no fun. That doesn't make me mad.
Well, we're just getting so heated about them that I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure.
Yeah, but
I want to make sure we're hitting every fucking corner here. But then there's an update.
okay.
And it says, update. The aunt is still alive.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if she fought staying alive for another week. Thanks for the supportive comments, even those of you who considered me being the asshole but wanted to know more information. And then there was another one. Update.
Wait. So they've had a wake and a funeral plan,
Scheduled.
and the woman's not
Still
even
alive.
cold?
Still alive. The body's not even cold.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's
Stupid.
crazy to think about.
That tells me, no, this girl is not level-headed.
But then it
like,
says
oh.
she passed this morning. The wake and funeral got moved to Sunday and Monday, which means I'm still missing them and pretty much missed work for nothing. Life lessons learned.
Yeah, like don't schedule a wake and a funeral while someone's still alive.
Crazy.
Okay. Well, you know what? I have something that will make us not pissed. A listener email. We got so many emails about crisis apparitions and people's stories.
Uh-huh.
And I have an email about one that I thought was super interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
And it does not piss me off. It says, hello, Spencer, Madison, and perfect puppers. Longtime listener, first-time emailer. Just finished listening to your latest episode where Madison hits on crisis apparitions, and it reminded me of something that happened years ago that still gives my family the willies and a bit of dark laughter, now that we're all mostly healed from it, emotionally and orthopedically. My mom and I were at home when we both thought we heard my brother throw open the front door and yell, "Mom!" Loud, urgent. She bolted to meet him. Nothing. The place was silent, empty, creepy. Then the phone rang. I answered it. It was my cousin. Hey, Jer broke his leg. Like, really broke it. Turns out, while coming down from a rebound in a friendly game of basketball, he got entangled with my cousin and snapped his femur clean.
Oh.
2 hours away. We matched up the timeline later. The yell we heard happened right when the bone snapped.
Oh my God.
We joke now that his soul briefly left his body, ran home, and screamed for mom before the morphine kicked in.
Damn.
To this day, we chalk it up to some kind of telepathic apparition.
Yeah.
Or maybe the unbreakable and occasionally loud bond between a mom and her son, even when bones aren't quite as resilient. Longtime Geoff, Jess. Also, not exactly a crisis apparition, but my grandfather appeared to my grandmother and great aunt, his sister, on the same day approximately 6 months following his death.
Wow.
They had a pact that whoever went first would return if it were possible. He just smiled and waved, walked into the next room, and was gone.
Oh,
I love that.
I
so
love that
sweet.
too. Wait, did you see there was that guy on TikTok? He had cancer.
Yes, and he recorded his death message.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was so sweet. But something he said in it where wish I would have saved it, but he said something about like, I'm really kind of excited for this next adventure. And it made me feel like,
Ooh.
do hope it's like, I thought that was really sweet.
That is very sweet. Oh, well, I'm up first this week,
Yeah,
which means you should have a little side bitch.
I do. And it is from the Republican, Springfield, Massachusetts, from Monday, August 4th, 1913. I love it because a lot of times we don't hear obituaries for people like this. So that's why I want to read it.
Okay.
This is New York, August 4th. Anthony W. Grace, convicted for the murder of his brother, Jack Grace, well known in Boston and New York athletic clubs as a wrestler, was electrocuted in Sing Sing prison early today.
Oh, Lord.
Grace went to his death quietly, which I loved the phrasing on that, went to his death quietly. He left no statement. He was announced dead at 5:58 after 2 shocks had been applied, although it was believed he had died at the first contact. It's understood the body will be claimed by Grace's mother. But I always am looking for obituaries for like murderers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're few and far between, or sometimes, as we know, they
Are riddled with
lies and
lie.
fabrications, making them
Yeah.
sound great.
Right?
But yeah,
Wow.
that's my
Sing
guy this
Sing.
week. Sing
That's like
Sing.
notoriously like gnarly.
Not where you want to be.
Yeah. And I mean, he got the electric chair, I guess,
Yeah.
twice and didn't make a peep.
2 shocks.
Wow. 2 shocks and you're out.
Mm-hmm. What was that one obituary where it's like so and so fries? Oh no, that's from. Is that from Crybaby?
Oh, I think so.
Because his parents are electrocuted by the electric chair.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll hear what had you spinning in your coffin this week.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back. And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, girlies, get ready to have your skin crawl.
Ooh. Spooky.
No, it's a gross one today.
Okay.
Not spooky, but gross.
Give it to me.
Today, I want to talk about one of the most horrifying injuries to me. It's called degloving.
Oh,
And
brutal.
It's brutal. If you guys have never heard the term or don't know what I'm talking about, I want you to imagine taking a tight glove off of your hand, except that glove is your skin,
Okay.
basically.
Got the visual. Oh, this one's disgusting, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get comfortable.
Get comfortable because I had to witness a lot of things.
Okay.
Okay, so degloving is a legit medical term, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Like I said, it's a traumatic event where the top layers of your skin and tissue are forcibly torn away from the underlying muscle, tendons, and sometimes even the bone. These injuries are so gnarly, and some can even be life-threatening because of like severe blood loss. Now, you also may be thinking, does degloving only refer to your hands? Well, no. It's a broad medical term. So throughout this episode, you're going to hear me talk about things like ring avulsion and even scalping. And while those might sound like different things, they're all technically types of degloving injuries. So it refers to any body part. Hands, fingers, legs, hands,
Fingers,
arms, feet, scalp,
Okay.
and wieners.
Not wieners.
Wieners, girl.
Ooh.
Wieners. Can you imagine?
Nope.
The body part that degloves is, again, left with fat, muscles, and bones just exposed. And I think of those body exhibits that you talked about. I think when you talked about like plastination.
Yeah.
Like our skin suit is just taken off. So there are 2 different types, though. There's open degloving. Basically, everything I already explained. The skin is ripped open and pulled back, leaving your insides underneath just open.
Is the other one internal?
Yes, it's called closed degloving. And this is where your skin stays intact, but underneath it's chaos. The skin is basically removed from all of the deeper tissue, but it's still like intact.
I'm like touching my skin. I'm like pinching myself.
Well, okay, so it's referred to as Morel Lavally lesion. So it's named after the physician who first described it back in the 1800s. And the most common areas for this are your hip and thighs.
Okay.
Which freaks me out too. So I actually have a personal experience with degloving.
You do?
I do. I remember back when I was in elementary school, my best friend's mom was at a baseball field watching my best friend's brother play. And I guess for some reason, she had to hop a fence to get to her car. Like, I think it was like late and they like locked the fence to like get to her car. So she climbed up the fence and on the way down, she went to like jump off and her wedding ring got stuck on the fence. And she sort of hung there. She was like a small lady too, so she just like hung there. And I remember having her ring finger bandaged and like hearing about her having to go into surgery. And although I'm not sure whether it was open or closed degloving, I think it was closed because if she was stuck there hanging, then it was most likely closed. But I vividly remember it, and that was the first experience where I was like, oh, wow, like that can happen. You know, it doesn't cross your mind.
Yeah. One time I was at the Palm Springs house. The pool went to the hot tub, but it was all stone and it was really like sharp edges.
Mm-hmm.
And I was jumping off and I lost my footing. And so my foot slid back. I was trying to jump from the hot tub into the pool and it skinned my shin.
Ooh.
I like pulled my leg out and whipped it. And the piece of skin with like leg hair on it still was on a rock nearby.
Oh my God.
Is that foul?
You could have died.
I know.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm not going to say I know. It was not that dramatic. It was just like a little.
Yeah, but still, with the skin with the hair on it.
But seeing that, like if you've ever cut yourself really deep or like whatever, seeing the white is always just gives me like
worse
chills.
than blood.
Yeah.
Worse than the blood.
Oh, yeah. But that's how you know something's gonna fucking hurt too. Is like I've done it before where like you accidentally like hit your hand down on a knife or something and it.
But it doesn't hurt at the moment.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm gonna feel that, and then it's like a bruised feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh,
hate it.
God. Okay, well, this like particular degloving is known as ring avulsion.
Okay.
And this actually happened to Jimmy Fallon. I don't know if you remember this. This was in 2015. Jimmy Fallon.
Hold on, let me think about Jimmy Fallon, 2015. What was he?
Well, okay, I'll tell you what he was doing. He was in his kitchen. And he tripped and fell on a rug. And I watched the video of him explaining it. He's like, it was this braided rug that my wife loved. And now I want to go home and burn it. But he tripped and fell on it in the kitchen. And he reached out for the counter to like break his fall. And his ring caught the corner of the counter, his wedding ring, and got stuck. But he was still falling. So like his body weight ripped his finger. Ooh. His finger wasn't completely ripped off. I believe it was a closed degloving. But anyway, he had to go to the hospital. He had to have a 6-hour surgery where the surgeons had to take a vein out of his foot and place it in his finger to be able to save his finger. He spent 10 days in the ICU after that because like, okay, it's just your finger or whatever, but like infections and everything. And he ended up losing the feeling in his finger for 8 weeks. And he had to cancel shows and everything.
That is terrifying. It's like if you ever want to cheat, just be like, I can't wear my ring. I'm scared of getting degloved.
Okay, this next story.
Don't do that.
This next story, I was like, I fucking did this last night. Like, You'll see why. Okay, so you know OSHA?
Yeah.
The like
Occupational Safety Hazard Association or whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can go on OSHA.gov and you can look up accident reports and
that's my new favorite social media.
I know. It gives details, okay? So there was a report from 2019 of a degloving incident, and it gives me nightmares because this is something I just did and could have gotten my finger ripped off. So this employee at Solera Medical Supplies was restocking shelves, and I just did this because I put away groceries and was stocking our pantry. So there were these big storage racks and he was stocking them. There was a shelf that was almost 8 feet high, and instead of getting a little step ladder to stock a box, he jumped up to push it back. And I've done that so many times.
Can we insert the clip of you falling off a ladder at work?
Well, at least I was using a ladder. But yes, we can. We absolutely can. So he like jumped up to push this box back. And on the way down, when his body came down, his wedding ring got stuck on the rack and degloved him. And he went to the hospital and he had to have his ring finger amputated.
Jesus. So what happened to you?
Well, nothing yet, but who knows? I wear my wedding ring always, and I was like jumping up.
But you didn't get stuck.
I didn't get stuck.
Okay.
But I have nightmares about it. Like, that's scary.
Yeah.
So scary. Okay. Either way, open or closed degloving, these injuries are bad, but
yes,
these injuries actually most often happen in high force accidents. So industrial machines, motorcycles, and automobile crashes.
Yeah.
Yep. So take this incident from 2017. There was an Air Force captain named Jason Lowe, and he was in Hawthorne, not too far, in the Southern California area. He was in Hawthorne. He was riding his motorcycle and he was stopped at a red light. While sitting there, a huge SoCal gas truck plowed through, hitting Jason and pulling him and his motorcycle under the truck and pinning him. Well, then the truck tried to flee the scene with Jason still stuck underneath, and he was dragged 430 feet, Spence. He lost 40% of his blood and a whole other list of injuries, but suffered a severe degloving injury to his right thigh and leg. His skin and tissue were shredded. And he survived, luckily, but his leg was at risk of amputation, and he spent over a month in the hospital. Okay, but the silver lining, he sued SoCal Gas and was awarded $46 million.
I'd rather have not experienced that.
Very true. The trauma is not worth it.
Have you had road rash before from like falling?
No, but I know.
It's the most painful thing. I had a couple years ago.
Your scooter
It was like
accident?
during COVID.
Yeah.
Going down a hill, just fucking ate shit and just completely skinned my knuckles, and like I have scars on my like elbow and arm and stuff, and my side.
Is it one of those things where it's like so painful,
It just
but
burns.
it's itchy too?
I don't remember if it was itchy or not, but I know it burned every time I showered.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's terrible.
The worst. So, I mean, I can't even imagine being in a serious accident like that.
I know. Well, imagine your wiener being degloved, and I have a story. Okay. By a machine.
A machine?
A machine. Okay, so I read
What was the person doing?
This is terrible. I read a case report on a penile degloving, so you guys didn't have to. It came with pictures, step-by-step pictures. It was like a medical journal thing. I have it linked if you guys want to go look at it, but step-by-step pictures of this penis. So it says in the medical journal, a 26-year-old man had, quote, traumatic degloving of penile and scrotal skin, an exposed, spongy body, cavernous bodies, and testicles caused by an accident on a farm tractor. The patient was presented to our emergency department 14 hours after his pants getting caught in the rotating drive shaft, which subsequently pulled him at the groin level, whereby the machine grasped the redundant skin of the penis and scrotum. The patient underwent single-stage surgical reconstruction using split-thickness skin graft 48 hours within initial presentation. But then it goes on to say he was discharged after 6 days, and at an 8-week follow-up, he was doing well. Everything looked good. He had sexual function, everything. So he survived. That is fucking
That's something I never want to feel.
Ever. And I don't even have a penis, but I don't ever want to feel that. But I have to leave you guys with a story from the Victorian era.
Oh, of course.
That is absolutely real and fucking girls, my jaw was degloved. Okay. When I was reading this, the Victorian era and the Industrial Revolution were both eras in time where degloving happened quite a bit. And this story is insane, and it was reported on in newspapers in Salem, Massachusetts in the late 1800s. And I read about it on streetsofsalem.com, but then I looked through like the newspaper archives because I'm like, this can't even be real. And it was. There's newspaper clippings of it. Okay.
What happened?
So we have Hannah E. Leary. Hannah worked at a cotton company. She was working on a machine called a carding machine, which was used to process cotton. Okay, so Hannah had very long hair. And
oh no.
Yeah, usually she wore it up.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, she didn't wear it up this day. And her hair gets caught in the machine.
Nope.
That processes cotton. In a split second, Spencer, the machine ripped off her entire scalp. Girl, from the front to the back.
Fuck.
The most insane part, though, is that she was still fully conscious.
I'd pass out.
She was now bald, without a scalp, and her skull was showing.
That is nightmarish.
Okay. What's even more nightmarish is that all of her coworkers were fucking gagged. Some were frozen with fear. Others were scrambling around. A lot of them fainted. One of them was quick thinking, though, and was able to retrieve her whole scalp out of the machine.
Did they put it back on her head?
Yes, and she was rushed to the hospital, and doctors at the time were able to stitch it back to her head. But I have to read you some of the newspaper clippings, how they explain it.
Okay.
This is from the Boston Post, July 27th, 1894, and it's a very long article, so I just have a couple little snippets, but it says, scalp torn off, Salem woman's hair caught in a cotton card. Others fainted at the sight. Miss Leary bore pluckily the pain and the sewing on of her scalp by surgeons. Her case watched with great interest. Salem, July 26th, with her scalp torn from her head, but as soon as possible replaced and sewed on by the surgeons, Hannah E. Leary lies on a cot at the city hospital on Charter Street in a fair condition to recover.
Jesus.
The doctors are considering the advisability of grafting skin to the scalp at the edges. If her temperature improves, it will be tried. And then it goes on to explain. It says the machine was going so fast that the scalp was taken off entire from the forehead to the nape of the neck. The sight of the women writhing with pain upon the floor was frightful to the operatives in the room, many of whom fainted from horror. As soon as the shrieks of anguish were heard, Foreman Bennett, who has charge of the room, jumped to the lever and stopped the machines. Messengers were dispatched immediately for medical assistance. Doctors Simpson and Ruler responded as soon as possible. Miss Leary was suffering the most intense pain. The tangled mass of hair from which the scalp hung was unloosened from the machine and placed back upon her head again, handkerchiefs being used to tie it down in place.
God.
During it all, Miss Leary did not lose consciousness, and although her suffering was frightful, after her first screams for help, she made very little noise, save a groan now and then. The hospital ambulance was out on another call when the accident occurred, and she was removed in the police patrol wagon to the hospital. Here she was placed in the operating room where the scalp was sewed onto place by the surgeons. She showed the most remarkable grit, enduring the pain better by far than most men would have done.
Jesus.
Also, apparently,
insane.
That is so insane. But apparently, this wasn't her first injury, and she had explained it in the article that she had gotten her finger caught in a machine like a few years back, but it wasn't a big deal.
Dangerous. That equipment is so dangerous.
So dangerous. So today's takeaway: tie your hair up if you're working near machinery. Tie your wiener up too, and don't wear your wedding ring.
Or get one of those silicone.
Exactly, yeah, the silicone ones. But we really are just like skin or we're just like meat.
I think about that all the time. Like how we're just kind of held together by chance, and like literally anything could happen, and our organs could float. Like something. It's just crazy.
Crazy. So there you have it.
Shit, not loving degloving.
No, not loving it.
Oh gosh. Well, okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, it's gonna get wilder.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
I've got to hand it to you, girly. Degloving was absolutely wild. But I'm glad we're kind of on the same wavelength this week.
Okay.
Because this week I was stuck on the topic of prosthetics.
Ooh.
We're going to do a part 2 where we talk about some older prosthetics and just more about prosthetics in general.
Okay.
But today we're primarily focusing on something else. But I did have to share because I know we've talked about like people being buried or cremated with like pacemakers and implants and things like that. But I was like, what about people that are buried that have maybe a prosthetic leg or a prosthetic arm? I was curious about it. So I looked into it because the idea of maybe someone passing away and their prosthetic going to someone else sounds like a really nice idea, like a body donation.
Like a donation?
Yeah, but I guess that's actually pretty rare for that to happen, which makes sense. I mean, it's personal. Prosthetics
like
are kind of like
you.
They're personalized, and it also becomes kind of like an extension of your body, so it does feel personal. But I was also like, what's the difference between that and an organ donation, right? That's also part of your body. But I guess it's up to the individual or their loved ones,
Right.
whether they want to bury their prosthetic with them or donate them. There are some companies that I guess accept prosthetic donations, and maybe they won't use the whole limb, but they can use parts of it to build a new one. And obviously prosthetics are incredible. We've made so many advancements in their functionality and design. But what really sent me over the edge this week and what this coffin spinner turned into, it's all about something called apotemnophilia, or BIID.
Okay.
BIID stands for Body Integrity Identity Disorder, and it's fucking wild, bitch.
Okay.
Okay. Classified as a body identity disorder, BIID is defined as, quote, an intense and persistent desire to become physically disabled in a significant way, from major limb amputee, paraplegic, blindness, with onset by early adolescence accompanied by persistent discomfort or intense feelings of inappropriateness concerning current non-disabled body configuration. People that want to become physically disabled.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the craziest psychological disorders I've ever learned.
Yeah.
The desire to become physically disabled results in harmful consequences as manifested by either the preoccupation with the desire, including time spent pretending to be disabled, significantly interfering with productivity, with leisure activities, or social functioning, like if the person is unwilling to have a close relationship because they wouldn't be able to pretend to have a disability.
Right. The jig is up.
Or by attempts to actually become disabled, having resulted in the person putting his or her health or life in significant jeopardy.
Okay.
So really, it's not about body dysmorphia or delusion. A lot of times it's more like an identity mismatch, which is like, we'll talk about the ethics of everything.
Okay.
Like the person might be totally normal, totally rationally thinking in all aspects of their life, but they just can't stop feeling like something's not right with their body.
Like something's not missing.
Yeah. Like I'm not supposed to have my right arm.
Wow.
Like this innate feeling.
Okay.
I remember years ago, there was this woman, and I believe I first heard her story on Dr. Phil, which don't judge us, Geoffs, but we love a classic Dr. Phil episode.
Any daytime talk show, I'm going to watch.
Anyway, this woman had BIID, so I went digging to find her story, and I found it.
Oh, brother.
Her name is Jewel Shooping, and this is one of the most extreme and controversial cases of body integrity identity disorder that's ever been reported. Jewel had this fixation on blindness.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay.
So Jewel was born with perfect vision, but from the time that she was a little girl growing up in North Carolina, she knew that something was off. She felt different from other people, and she can remember from a young age deliberately staring into the sun, trying to damage her eyes. She would close her eyes and imagine what life would be like in the dark. I read an article about her in People magazine that she would like walk around the house at night as young as 6 years old and just would kind of be like feeling her way around. And she just loved that. She found a lot of comfort in the idea of being blind. And by the time she was a teenager, she was using a cane, she was learning Braille, and she was living fully as if she was blind because in her mind, that's like what she felt like.
Okay.
She described it as a deep, unbearable disconnect, like her eyes just didn't belong to her. And for years, she hid it from people and she pretended, but she was also blind simming in private to, I guess, get that sensation.
Wow.
So when she turned 21 years old, Jewel made a decision that most people, myself included, cannot wrap their heads around.
Okay.
With the help of a psychologist, a licensed psychologist, allegedly, she underwent a procedure to make herself permanently blind. And by procedure, I mean they poured drain cleaner into her eyes.
Oh my God.
Drain cleaner. She said the pain was unimaginable. Her eyes were burning, screaming, melting, and through it all, she just kept saying to herself, I'm gonna be blind. This is gonna be okay.
Oh my God.
6 months later, she had lost her sight completely. One eye literally collapsed and had to be removed. The other developed cataracts, glaucoma, and permanent scarring. And here's the part that makes your brain kind of short circuit. Like, what the fuck? She says it was the best decision she ever made. She claims her mental health improved dramatically and she finally felt whole, but it came at a massive cost. Her family disowned her, her friends distanced themselves, and she became like this media sensation for a while because everyone was talking about disability ethics and mental illness debates, obviously. Today, she fully lives as a blind woman by choice. She uses a cane, she reads Braille, and she advocates for awareness of the disorder. And if you're like me and you're wondering what kind of psychologist would agree to this, there's actually a lot of debate. So her whole story is that she found this psychologist that she was working with who agreed with her that she should be blind, and then they poured drain cleaner in her eyes. A lot of people aren't buying that. She's never named this psychologist by name, and it doesn't seem realistic that a licensed psychologist would agree to doing something like that. I think she made it up, to be honest.
There's sick people out there, though, that maybe would have helped her. Or that debate of it's her body, this is what she wants to do, and it's going to improve her mental health. Like, we're so complex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they should have their license taken away if they did that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But this is also nothing new. So there's a neuropsychiatrist named Richard von Krafft-Ebing who described 3 cases of BIID in his classic 1906 book, Psychopathia Sexualis. He wrote, quote, "Even bodily defects become fetishes." He describes a 28-year-old factory engineer who complained of a peculiar mania which caused him to doubt his sanity. Since his 17th year, he became sexually excited at the sight of physical defects in women, especially disfigured feet. Normal women had no attraction for him. If a woman, however, was afflicted with contorted or disfigured feet, she exercised a powerful sensual influence over him, no matter whether she was otherwise pretty or ugly. In his dreams, the forms of halting women were ever before him. At times, he could not resist the temptation to imitate their gait, which caused vehement orgasm with lustful ejaculation. Second case that he talks about in the book, he used to limp around the room on 2 brooms in lieu of crutches, or when unobserved, go limping about the streets. In his erotic dreams, the idea of the limping girl was always the controlling element. So this is another person. The personality of the halting girl was a matter of indifference. His interest based solely centering on the limping foot. His perverse fancies revolved around masturbation against the foot of a halting female. At times, he anchored his hope on the thought that he might succeed in winning and marrying a lame girl, it says. Which
you can't say that anymore.
Yeah, 1906, people. His present existence was one of untold misery. And then he also talks about a 30-year-old civil servant. And it says, since his 7th year, he had for a playmate of a lame girl of the same age. At the age of 12, puberty set in, and it lies beyond doubt that the first sexual emotions toward the other sex coincided with the sight of the lame girl. Forever after only halting women excited him sexually, which I also don't know what halting means.
Yeah.
And so I'm apologizing in advance if that is also I'm
like
picking up that
context.
It's like a derogatory term. For somebody who's disabled, maybe. But this guy also had a foot fetish. He sought early relations with the opposite sex, but was absolutely impotent with women who were not lame, it says. Gratification was most strongly elicited if the woman limped on her left foot. But it was also successful if she limped on the right foot. His sexual anomaly rendered him very unhappy, and he was often near committing suicide, it says. But that's more like the fetishism side of it, I feel like. As far as symptoms for BIID go, the characteristics of body integrity disorder or body integrity dysphoria, this is from the Cleveland Clinic. Characteristics are a strong desire to be physically disabled or experience life without a body part, discomfort or intense feelings that a healthy body isn't suitable for your body or doesn't belong, a preoccupation with personal desires that take you away from activities you enjoy, like socializing or interpersonal relationships, behaving like you have a disability even if you don't have one. Self-mutilation, I guess, can also be on the spectrum here, but obviously a very different thing. If you have BIID, you typically have a sense of overcompletion, that something's not right with your current body configuration, exhaustion from trying to hide your true feelings from others, obsessive, intrusive thoughts about your body, extreme stress or anxiety that you're not presenting your physical self to the world the way you see yourself. And they still don't really know what causes it, but there's different parts of your brain that are involved with body perception, but that gets really scientific and wordy.
Okay.
But I want to talk about some more stories involving BIID. Next, we have the story of Kevin Wright, who made headlines back in 2000 when news broke that he had undergone a leg amputation willingly.
Oh.
The Guardian published an article on the event and the backlash that came out after that surgery happened, writing, quote, "Outrage greeted the news this week that two people had begged surgeons to amputate their healthy legs. In an exclusive interview, one of them tells Penny Taylor of the Sunday Herald why the operation has ended years of torment. Kevin Wright knew what he needed from the age of 8. That was when he was first aware of his pathological desire to lose his left leg. I just didn't want it. It didn't feel a part of me," he says. "I didn't understand why, but I knew I didn't want my leg." Almost 30 years later, his wish was granted thanks to a Scottish surgeon who was willing to risk international notoriety to put Kevin out of his intense emotional pain. Since it was unexpectedly announced last week, the case has attracted worldwide interest because there was absolutely nothing wrong with Kevin's limb. He just knew it had to go. "By taking away my leg, the surgeon has made me complete," he says. The operation, which was performed by Robert Smith at Falkirk Royal Infirmary in September of 1997, was both a clinical and a personal success. "Of course, I'm not a different person now, but I might well be," says Wright. "I have happiness and contentment, and life is so much more settled, so much easier." From the moment news of his voluntary surgery broke on Monday, Wright's Essex home has been besieged by the media. Tabloid hacks interviewed colleagues and neighbors, but dug up nothing more revealing than the fact that he does not have the disabled sticker for his car to which he is entitled. Last night, as his 21-month-old son, Stephen, played in the background, Wright gave his first, and he insists his last, interview on the subject of his amputation and the body dysmorphic disorder that caused it. Speaking about it is obviously not easy for him to do, but he hopes it will end some of the speculation that much recent coverage has inspired.
You know, when you said it at first, I was like judgy, but I'm like not. I don't know. The more stories you hear, it's like, if it's making them happier, who cares?
I mean, yeah. So Kevin was married to a woman named Susan. She was a midwife for 7 years. And I guess she was surprised but accepting when he confessed to her that this is something that he'd wanted for his entire life.
It kind of seems like body modification a little bit. Like, you know.
Yeah, in some essence, for sure. He said as far as he was concerned, amputation above the knee was the only feasible option. He couldn't bear life with his leg intact and confessed to having contemplated suicide when he couldn't locate a surgeon willing to remove it. Some people call his complaint body dysmorphic disorder, a psychological condition where sufferers fixate on parts of their body and become convinced they have to be changed, which I feel like is very common. Like we hear about that a lot of times with like eating disorders, I think fall under that category and all kinds of things. Nobody knows how many people are affected by it, but body dysmorphia disorder has been estimated to be the reason for up to 7% of the plastic surgery usually performed on noses, breasts, and buttocks. I'm sure that number has skyrocketed since in the past 25 years or 28 years. But I guess the doctor had him undergo all these different psychological evaluations to make sure like this is something that he wants and that he will genuinely be happier without it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then there was obviously a lot of controversy that this doctor not only performed the surgery, but that it was allowed to be done in that hospital. There was a lot of backlash against the hospital where I guess the owner of the hospital was like, there's no way that's happening again in my hospital.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But again, I think it all comes down to like ethics and morals and
yeah.
Really
That's a really complex
it's controversial
and
layered.
So layered
because it's
so
like
complex.
Well, yeah, but then it's like it comes back to the debate too of like death with dignity, right? There's people who just don't want to be alive because they don't want to be alive. It's not because maybe because it's like a psychological disorder or mental health has plummeted. And
well, with death with dignity, it's they have a life-threatening illness. I mean, I know we've had
but
cases.
there's people who do it or have done it because they just no longer want to endure life.
This debate can spill into so many different cups, and that's why I am like, do what you want to do.
Yeah. Legs seem to be very common With this disorder, I read about another woman who's only ever been dubbed as Susan Smith. That's not her real name, who also wanted her leg amputated. And she actually started the process herself at home by packing her leg in dry ice and sitting in agonizing pain for 6 hours. Eventually, she was taken to the hospital and they had to amputate it because she had essentially killed off all the nerves in her leg.
Maybe it's something we don't know and we'll never know, but they weren't supposed to have those limbs. I don't know.
Or maybe it's like a past life thing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We don't know.
The last case I wanted to talk about involves a 20-year-old man from Quebec. I guess less extreme, but he wanted to have 2 of his fingers, healthy fingers, amputated on his left hand. He wanted the last 2 fingers. There was an article about that in People magazine. It said the 20-year-old patient claimed he was experiencing profound distress and incessant thoughts about the 4th and 5th fingers on his left hand, according to a clinical case report. The man reported that since childhood, he had a traumatizing sensation that the fingers didn't belong on his body, leading to pain, irritability, impaired dexterity, and nightmares of his fingers rotting or burning. Which is so interesting to me because that makes me think about it on like a meta level, like of like what is really going on? Like why does he feel like that?
Yeah.
Dr. Nadia Nadeau with the Department of Psychiatry at the University of Laval wrote that the man was diagnosed with body integrity identity disorder. As a result, a patient will ask a healthcare provider sometimes to amputate the healthy limb or attempt self-amputation, which is dangerous and potentially life-threatening. The patient's brain imaging was normal, so he was offered non-invasive treatments, including cognitive behavioral therapy, antidepressants, antipsychotics, and exposure therapy. However, they were all reportedly unsuccessful. Deemed capable of requesting amputation, he was referred to orthopedics and stopped his psychotropic medications in a collaborative decision with the treating psychiatrist, the report states. 6 months later, the man underwent elective amputation performed by an orthopedic surgeon at his local hospital. Post-surgery, his nightmares stopped completely, along with the emotional distress. He had constructive life plans, reduced anger, and improved well-being with family and at work, and no regrets were expressed. He's now living a life free from distressing preoccupations about his fingers, with all his symptoms related to BIID resolved. The amputation enabled him to live in alignment with his perceived identity.
I mean, it's fucking something I'll never understand.
We'll never understand it. And it is your body, your choice. But I'm also like, where's the line? Because my question is, are they receiving programs or grants or funds that should be going towards people that are disabled? You know what I mean?
Like, that's a whole nother thing.
You don't get the parking lot placard.
Oh,
baby.
Yeah.
If you willingly did that. Or like certain, I guess like people taking advantage of resources.
I didn't even think about the resources. You're right.
And that's taking it to a place where it's like,
we don't know another cup.
Yeah, we don't know how many people are affected by this. Obviously, it's sad. And I'm aligned with you in a sense where I'm like, it is your body, your choice. And if that is like the one thing in life that's going to make you fucking happy and otherwise your life is just going to be terrible, sure, go undergo. I think you should have to undergo all the psychological evaluations and all of that to make sure and try everything else. And if all else fails, but, like, there's a lot of people out there who are disabled not by choice.
I know.
And I
know.
Yeah, I'm like...
I didn't even think about the resources part. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
interesting, though, right?
It is interesting.
Because to me, I'm like, okay, you opt out of that. Like, you don't get... The person who's visually impaired from birth gets the dog.
Right.
Okay, you don't...
Right.
You don't get it, lady, because you poured Drano in your eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be insensitive either. It's obviously a psychological disorder, but it's also like... It feels... so wrong, but I guess it's because
it feels so wrong because we're all like trying every day to be the healthiest version of ourselves.
Yeah. I think why it fascinates me so much is genuinely wanting to know why. Like I genuinely don't understand. Like, did something happen to your leg? Like, was it bit by a dog when you were little? Or like,
is there like a trauma connected to it?
Yeah.
Or they just have felt that from birth.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
I don't know. But I thought it was a trip.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
You know what? Human beings, if there's one thing I know from this show, it's that human beings will never cease to surprise me.
Nope. Not at all.
I wonder if anyone's ever written an obituary for a body part.
Well, we know they've had a funeral.
That's true. Oh my God, that girl's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that wasn't by choice. She didn't want to lose that.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's take our minds off of that and move into some obituaries, shall we?
Let's do it. I have one that just warmed my heart. This is for, let's call him Gene. Gene was a sailor, air traffic controller, long-haul trucker driver, real estate broker, piano salesman, blender tender on an oil rig, factory worker, almost foreman, golf pro, school bus driver, and international criminal. He once spent a summer drunk on a boat, and another time hunting alone in the woods of Michigan when he was 17. He fell through the ice and hung out naked for several hours while his clothes dried on rocks. He started a fight in a pool hall by pulling out a guy's overlong nose hair. And he once got arrested because he jumped over the bar to punch the bartender in the stomach.
Oh, shit.
Because he'd called my dad's date something dirty. The guy's belt broke and his pants fell down. He loved to read, which he passed on to his 2 daughters. He liked sci-fi and was annoyed that it was often categorized with fantasy. He refused to read anything with a sword. Born in 1940, he grew up during Twilight Zone and flying saucer movies, which he would go see on his 25-cent allowance. He had enough to get a ticket, popcorn, and a Coke, and still have a nickel left over. God, I wish that was still...
Oh, my God.
Still those days. The family, sharecroppers in Tennessee, didn't get plumbing or a TV until he was in high school, and he once fell into the hole in the outhouse pretending to be an Olympic gymnast on the parallel bars. Despite the waste and wildness, he was generally good-natured, the type of guy who wants everyone around him to laugh. He told the same jokes time and time again, his favorite being what the fish said when it hit the wall. He always laughed at his own punchline.
What'd the fish say when it hit the wall?
I don't know. Doesn't say. Once trying to get a shower at a truck stop, the lady behind the counter told him to undress and head to the building out back. He said, "Well, I'm shy," knowing full well she meant undress in the cab of his semi. He got a smile from the lady and a chuckle from everyone in line. He was proud of that one. He once spent 3 months in Rio de Janeiro drinking beers on the beach while watching girls in bikinis go by, and then he spent 6 months in a Bolivian prison. The prison was in the mountains, and his cell was underground, so it was cold, and when they did dishes, he warmed his hands on the pipes that ran along his ceiling. He took a red blanket from the jail, which they made him pay for. It's on his bed still.
Oh my God.
He stayed cheerful and alert to the end. He is succeeded by 2 daughters, 3 brothers, a sister, 2 grandsons, and a slew of nieces and nephews. He will be missed.
Aw.
I love him.
Love him.
He's so cool.
I love when people really give you a picture of who that person was, and I love that they included his favorite gag in there.
I know.
That's a good one.
Rascal.
Okay, I have this cutie.
Oh,
Little ballerina. Letha Post, or Lethal Letha. Letha Post, or Lethal Letha. That's her name. Letha. A vibrant and unforgettable soul passed away on April 14th at the age of 94 in Franklin, New York.
Wow.
Born in 1930, Letha lived a life full of spunk, love, and laughter, leaving an indelible mark on everyone she met. She was the beloved wife of the late Harry Post and cherished sister to Pat, Bud, Bonnie, and Jim, and a friend to everyone. Letha was a devoted mother to her 3 sons, Rick, Gary, and Steve, and her legacy continued through her grandchildren. She was also a proud great-grandmother to 9 great-grandchildren, 7 girls and 2 boys, who brought her endless joy. Known for her feisty and sassy spirit, Letha was everyone's grandma, welcoming all into her heart and home. Her middle finger wave was legendary, delivered with a mischievous grin that could light up a room. A lover of Elvis, she was often found singing and dancing, captivating friends and family with her infectious energy. Letha's famous post-pond parties were the talk of the town, where her zest for life never slowed down. Mornings were reserved for coffee and solitaire, while afternoons were spent catching up with her best friends, Ginny and Aggie. She also had a special place in her heart of Ginny's grandchildren. Her personality shone through in her favorite sayings. "If God can forgive, why can't you?" And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. These words reflected her unapologetic authenticity. Letha's memory will live on in the countless lives she touched with her warmth, humor, and boundless love. We want to take a moment to thank the Hampshire House for their empathy and love for Letha. A celebration of her life will be held at a later date, forever in our hearts.
Oh,
love her.
What a cutie. I love the picture that goes with it.
It's a good one.
A picture tells 1,000 words or whatever.
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
we've spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
Means it's time for some dumb
ass criminals.
Who you got?
Well, I see you have something from the New York Post, and so do I.
Okay.
But this is from April of 2025. It says, Florida man dressed as Ronald McDonald wrestled to the ground by cops. It says, wild body cam footage, and I'll show it to you in a second, shows a Florida man being busted while dressed as Ronald McDonald, telling cops after a scuffle, I am a clown, stupid. Christopher Marlowe, 40, was dressed as the McDonald's character in a bright yellow, red, and white costume and a big red nose as he was wrestled to the ground and arrested for trespassing at a shopping center last week. As he was put in the back of a police cruiser, Marlowe was told by one of the arresting officers, you look like a clown. He said, no shit, the suspect shot back. I am a clown, stupid. God. Adding to the bizarreness of the arrest, the police department added clown noises to the footage.
I love people.
It says, what do you call someone who returns to a shopping plaza after they've been trespassed? A clown, the department quipped in the video. And here's the video.
Oh my God.
I know.
I respect it. If you're going to do a crime, do it dressed as a clown.
Do it. And
well, hold on.
Okay.
Not a murder.
Oh, that's true.
Not immediately what's a John Wayne Gacy.
True. I know.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that one. Okay, who do you have?
Okay. I have a true dumbass.
Oh, no.
A Minnesota delivery driver was busted for auto theft because she wrote in her diary that she, quote, totally stole a car today, according to police.
Oh my God, she's just a girly.
She's a girl. Vanessa Guerra, 30, of Mankato, penned the brain-dead confessional on August 12th, the same day a van was swiped and resold for parts nearby, according to a criminal complaint.
Stupid.
During the investigation, an officer found her journal, which blabs about the vehicle heist in a tone fit for a ladies' brunch. Quote, literally wrote this down. Totally stole a car today. Something I never thought of doing, she wrote in the entry. According to the Brown County Sheriff's Office, she ended it with fucking super freaking out about it.
I like her.
She kept it real. She worked as a DoorDash driver and allegedly sold the 2004 Ford Freestar van for $2,000 at a scrap and salvage business in Blue Earth County, according to the Smoking Gun, which was the first to report the bizarre bust. The salvage business told cops they recognized her as the person who sold them the stolen vehicle, according to police.
She needs to get a lock for her journal, doesn't she know?
She needs one of those passcode journals.
Yeah.
When contacted by the investigator, she denied knowing that the vehicle was stolen. And then imagine finding the fucking diary and they're like, well, you wrote that you were super freaking out about it,
actually. Super fucking freaking out, yeah.
Oh,
shit, free her girl.
Okay, I want to read her diary entries from prison. She's like, okay, girls, what am I going to do?
She's a girl's girl.
I'm totally freaked out.
Yeah. Oh, love it.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's all we got for this week. And I'm super freaking out about it.
Super freaking out, man.
I'm actually super freaked out by this episode.
I know.
To be honest. All of it. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
The pulling, the severing.
The faking.
Oh my God.
The taking. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week. Don't you worry for some more coffin spinners.
And obituaries.
And dumb
ass
criminals. And everything else you want can be found on our website, obituarypodcast.com. Don't forget to rate and review. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.